Imagine it's 3 o'clock in the morning, the house is completely silent, and you're finally getting some much-needed sleep. Then suddenly, you hear it, that familiar licking sound. At first, you try to ignore it, hoping your dog will settle down. But it doesn't stop. The licking becomes chewing. The chewing turns into scratching. Before long, your dog is pacing around the room, unable to get comfortable. You switch on the light and immediately notice that unmistakable smell. It's a strong, musty odor coming from their paws, ears, or skin. Some people describe it as smelling like corn chips or moldy bread. Whatever it reminds you of, you know exactly what it means. Another yeast flare-up has begun. If you've been through this before, you also know what usually comes next. Another visit to the veterinarian. Another medicated shampoo. Another antifungal medication or prescription cream. Sometimes those treatments are exactly what's needed, especially if your dog has a severe infection. But for many pet parents, the relief is only temporary. A few weeks later, the licking starts again. The odor returns, the ears become red, the paws become inflamed, and once again, you're left wondering why this keeps happening. As a veterinarian, I completely understand how heartbreaking that cycle can be. Our dogs can't tell us where it hurts. They can't explain how uncomfortable they feel. Instead, they communicate through constant scratching, restless nights, irritated skin, and those sad eyes that seem to ask for help. Watching that happen is emotionally exhausting because every loving owner wants the same thing, to see their best friend comfortable, healthy, and happy again. But what if I told you that one of the simplest ways to support healthier skin might already be sitting in your refrigerator? Not as a miracle cure, and certainly not as a replacement for proper veterinary care, but as one piece of a much bigger strategy that focuses on helping your dog's body restore balance from the inside out. Today, we're going to explore that science together, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why recurring yeast problems are often much more than just a skin is, your neighborhood veterinarian and canine wellness educator. Welcome back to the channel, where we combine modern veterinary science with practical, holistic care to help your dog live a healthier and happier life. Today's lesson is one of the most important masterclasses we've ever created because recurring yeast problems affect millions of dogs around the world. Yet many owners are never told why these infections keep returning. Instead of simply talking about medications or home remedies, we're going to look at the complete picture. We'll discuss what yeast actually is, why it sometimes grows out of control, how the gut and immune system influence skin health, which natural ingredients have scientific support, and which popular internet remedies could actually make your dog's condition worse. So if you have a notebook nearby, this is the perfect time to grab it. Throughout today's lesson, I'll also share 2 important veterinary warnings that every dog owner should know before trying anything at home. My goal isn't just to help your dog feel better today. My goal is to help you understand how to support healthier skin for years to come. Now, let's begin with the first priority. Before we worry about long-term health, we have to help your dog find some immediate comfort. Whenever a dog develops irritated, itchy skin, many owners immediately focus on killing the yeast. But experienced veterinarians often think differently. Before anything else, we ask a simple question. How can we calm the skin without making the irritation worse? Think about it this way. If your house catches fire, your first job isn't to rebuild the entire structure. Your first job is to put out the flames. The same principle applies here. Inflamed skin needs gentle support while we investigate what's happening underneath. One of the simplest supportive options is a diluted apple cider vinegar rinse. Notice the word diluted. That's incredibly important. Healthy canine skin naturally has a slightly acidic protective layer known as the acid mantle. This thin barrier helps support the normal balance of microorganisms that naturally live on your dog's skin. When the skin barrier becomes damaged by allergies, excessive moisture, or repeated irritation, that balance can shift. A properly diluted apple cider vinegar solution may help support the skin's natural acidity, creating conditions that are less favorable for certain microorganisms on the surface. A simple mixture of 1 part plain apple cider vinegar and 1 part clean water can be gently dabbed onto healthy, intact skin using a soft cloth or cotton pad. The goal isn't to soak your dog. It's simply to support the skin's normal environment while keeping the area clean and dry. However, this brings us to our first veterinary warning, and I really need you to remember it. Never apply apple cider vinegar to broken skin, open wounds, raw hot spots, bleeding areas, or severely inflamed tissue. Because vinegar is acidic, it can cause intense stinging and significantly increase your dog's discomfort. If your dog cries, pulls away, or has open sores, stop immediately and contact your veterinarian. Supportive home care should never cause unnecessary pain. Another natural ingredient that often receives attention is virgin coconut oil. Unlike highly processed oils, virgin coconut oil naturally contains medium-chain fatty acids, including lauric acid. Researchers have studied lauric acid for its antimicrobial properties in laboratory settings, and while coconut oil is not a substitute for prescribed medication, many veterinarians find that a very thin layer can help moisturize dry skin and support the skin's protective barrier in certain dogs. The key word, once again, is moderation. A tiny amount is often enough. Applying thick layers of oil can trap dirt, moisture, and debris against the skin. Some dogs also love the taste of coconut oil and may lick large amounts off their bodies, which can upset the stomach or contribute unnecessary calories to the diet. Think of coconut oil as a light moisturizer, not as a coating. But here's the important truth that many advertisements never mention. Even the best topical product can only do so much if the real reason behind the yeast overgrowth is happening inside your dog's body. If the immune system is under stress, if allergies remain uncontrolled, or if the gut microbiome is out of balance, the skin may continue to struggle despite everything you apply on the surface. That's why the next section of this masterclass is where everything begins to change. We're going to leave the skin behind for a moment and travel inside your dog's digestive system, because that's where many of the body's most powerful defense mechanisms begin. And believe it or not, the simple ingredient I mentioned earlier may play an important role in supporting that internal balance. Now, here's where most people are surprised. We spend so much time treating the outside of the body that we often forget where nearly everything begins. The digestive system. Your dog's skin isn't just a protective covering. It's actually one of the largest organs in the body, and it's constantly communicating with the immune system and the gut. Veterinary researchers often refer to this connection as the gut-skin axis. In simple terms, what happens inside your dog's digestive tract can have a significant impact on what you see on the outside. Think of your dog's gut as a bustling city filled with trillions of microscopic organisms. Many of these bacteria are beneficial. They help digest food, produce important nutrients, and support normal immune function. But when that balance is disrupted, whether by illness, repeated antibiotic use, dietary sensitivities, or other medical conditions, the body's natural defenses can become less effective. While yeast overgrowth has many possible causes, including allergies and endocrine disorders, supporting a healthy gut microbiome is one important piece of maintaining healthy skin. This brings us to the ingredient I mentioned at the beginning of the video, plain, unsweetened kefir. Kefir is a fermented dairy product that naturally contains a variety of live beneficial bacteria and yeasts. Unlike flavored versions sold for people, the only type you should ever consider for your dog is plain, unsweetened kefir, with no added sugar, artificial sweeteners, or flavorings. Many veterinarians and veterinary nutritionists use fermented foods as part of a broader nutritional plan, because the live cultures may help support a healthy balance of microorganisms in the digestive tract. But here's something very important to understand. Kefir is not a medication. It doesn't magically eliminate yeast, and it isn't appropriate for every dog. Dogs with dairy sensitivities, certain digestive conditions, or special medical diets may not tolerate it well. If you're considering adding kefir to your dog's meals, start with a very small amount and discuss it with your veterinarian, especially if your dog has ongoing medical problems. When beneficial bacteria thrive in the gut, they help maintain a healthier digestive environment. A healthier digestive system supports normal immune function, and because the immune system plays a key role in skin health, that support can contribute to healthier skin over time. It's not an overnight transformation. It's about giving your dog's body the resources it needs to function as nature intended. Now let's talk about another nutrient that veterinarians recommend far more often than people realize: omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats, commonly sourced from fish oil formulated specifically for dogs, become incorporated into cell membranes throughout the body. Every skin cell your dog produces relies on strong, flexible cell membranes to function properly. Omega-3 fatty acids help support the skin's natural barrier, which plays a major role in keeping moisture in and environmental irritants out. Imagine trying to build a brick wall using weak, crumbling mortar. No matter how beautiful the bricks look, the wall won't stay strong. Your dog's skin works the same way. Healthy fats help provide the building materials needed for a resilient skin barrier. Many dogs with chronic skin irritation have underlying allergies. Omega-3 fatty acids don't cure allergies, but they may help support a normal inflammatory response, making the skin more comfortable while your veterinarian works to identify the underlying trigger. That's why you'll often see veterinary dermatologists recommend them as part of a comprehensive skincare plan. Always choose a fish oil product designed specifically for dogs, and follow your veterinarian's dosing recommendations. More isn't always better. Excessive supplementation can cause digestive upset and may not be appropriate for every dog. Now let's talk about the question that truly matters. Why does the yeast keep coming back? This is where we have to stop thinking about yeast as the enemy and start thinking of it as a messenger. In many cases, recurring yeast infections are a sign that something else is disrupting your dog's normal skin defenses. That something else might be environmental allergies, food sensitivities, hormonal disorders, excessive skin folds, chronic moisture around the paws, or an underlying medical condition that requires proper diagnosis. One factor that also deserves attention is nutrition. Not all commercial dog foods are created equal. Some lower-quality diets rely heavily on inexpensive fillers while providing fewer high-quality animal proteins and essential fatty acids. While carbohydrates themselves do not directly feed yeast in the simple way many online articles claim, poor overall nutrition can contribute to obesity, poor skin quality, and a less resilient skin barrier. Healthy skin requires complete and balanced nutrition. That means high-quality protein to build healthy tissue, essential fatty acids to maintain the skin barrier, vitamins and minerals to support normal cell function, and, when appropriate, probiotics or fermented foods that help maintain digestive health. These nutrients work together. There isn't one magical ingredient that fixes everything. Instead, it's the combination of good nutrition, appropriate veterinary care, and consistent daily habits that gives your dog's body the best chance to stay healthy. Another common mistake I see is owners changing foods every few weeks, hoping to find a miracle solution. Constantly switching diets without veterinary guidance can sometimes make digestive problems even more confusing. If you suspect a food allergy or sensitivity, work with your veterinarian to develop a proper elimination diet rather than guessing on your own. Now, before we continue, I need to share one more veterinary warning because it could literally save your dog's life. Many people assume that if an ingredient is healthy for humans, it must also be healthy for dogs. Unfortunately, that's simply not true. Never add onions or large amounts of garlic to your dog's meals. These foods contain compounds that can damage red blood cells and lead to serious illness. Likewise, always check ingredient labels for xylitol, sometimes called birch sugar. This artificial sweetener is extremely toxic to dogs. Even small amounts can cause dangerously low blood sugar and severe liver damage. Products such as sugar-free peanut butter, chewing gum, candies, baked goods, and certain nutritional supplements may contain xylitol, so always read labels carefully before sharing any human food with your pet. Natural doesn't automatically mean safe. The safest approach is always to choose foods and supplements that are appropriate for dogs and to discuss long-term nutritional changes with your veterinarian. Now that we've covered immediate skin support, the gut-skin connection, and the real reasons recurring yeast problems develop, there's one final piece of the puzzle. In the next section, I'm going to simplify everything we've discussed into a quick daily bowl formula that takes only seconds to remember. Whether you're feeling overwhelmed or just want a practical routine you can follow every day, this simple system will help you put today's information in. We've covered a lot of information today, and I know it can feel overwhelming. When you love your dog, it's natural to want to do everything perfectly. But here's the good news. You don't have to memorize every scientific term we discussed. Instead, I want to leave you with one simple routine that many veterinarians recommend as the foundation for supporting healthy skin and digestion. I call it the Daily Bowl Formula, and it's built around 3 simple parts. The first part is a skin builder. Start with a complete and balanced, high-quality dog food that's appropriate for your dog's age, size, and health needs. If your veterinarian recommends it, you can also include a high-quality omega-3 supplement formulated specifically for dogs. Healthy skin begins with healthy building blocks, and those building blocks come from proper nutrition. The second part is a gut helper. For dogs that tolerate dairy and whose veterinarian agrees it's appropriate, a small serving of plain, unsweetened kefir can be introduced gradually as part of a balanced diet. If kefir isn't suitable for your dog, your veterinarian may recommend a canine probiotic instead. The goal isn't to overload the digestive system. It's to help support a healthy gut microbiome, which in turn supports normal immune function and healthy skin. The third part is a skin support routine. Keep your dog's paws clean and dry after walks, especially during rainy weather or after playing in wet grass. Dry the spaces between the toes. Clean the ears only when recommended by your veterinarian, and groom regularly to prevent moisture and debris from building up. These small habits take only a few minutes each day, but they can make a big difference in maintaining a healthy skin environment. Notice something important about this formula. None of these steps promise an instant cure. Instead, they work together to support your dog's overall health. That's because recurring yeast problems are rarely caused by one single factor, and they usually aren't solved by one single ingredient either. Long-term improvement comes from consistency, good nutrition, proper hygiene, and working closely with your veterinarian to identify any underlying allergies or medical conditions. One of the biggest mistakes I see is owners stopping treatment the moment the itching improves. Your dog may look better on the outside, but if the underlying cause hasn't been addressed, the problem often returns. That's why patience is so important. Healthy skin doesn't change overnight. It rebuilds gradually, one healthy day at a time. If your dog continues to have recurring ear infections, constant paw licking, widespread redness, hair loss, a strong odor, or skin that doesn't improve despite home care, please schedule a veterinary examination. Conditions such as environmental allergies, food allergies, hormonal disorders, mites, bacterial infections, and chronic yeast infections can all look similar, but they require different treatment plans. Getting the correct diagnosis is one of the greatest gifts you can give your dog. Before we finish today's masterclass, I want to leave you with one final thought. Your dog doesn't care how expensive their bed is. They don't care whether their toys are brand new. They don't care if your house is perfect. What they care about is you. They trust you completely. They trust you to notice when something isn't right. They trust you to comfort them when they're uncomfortable. And they trust you to make the best decisions for their health, even when those decisions require patience, learning, and asking questions. The fact that you searched for this video tells me something important. It tells me you're not looking for shortcuts. You're looking for safe, thoughtful ways to help your best friend live a healthier life. That already makes you the kind of pet parent every dog deserves. Just remember, natural support and good nutrition are valuable tools, but they work best alongside professional veterinary care, not as a replacement for it. Together, they can help your dog enjoy healthier skin, greater comfort, and a better quality of life. Now, I'd love to hear from you because every dog's story is different, and your experience could help another family watching this video. Tell me in the comments, what breed is your dog, and where do you notice yeast problems most often? On the paws, in the ears, around the skin folds, or somewhere else? And here's a second question. Have you ever discovered the real cause behind your dog's recurring yeast problems, or are you still searching for answers? I read as many of your comments as I possibly can, and they help shape future videos for this community. If you found today's masterclass helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with another dog parent who might be struggling with the same problem. Together, we can help more dogs live healthier, happier lives. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Until next time, take care of your best friend, stay safe, and always trust your instincts.